Do you know this situation? You've set up face-to-face or online teaching sessions using Microsoft Teams, and you have some cool activities planned using breakout rooms for you and your teaching team, only to find out they actually can't. Let's turn the can't into couldn't, because a new co-organizer feature in Microsoft Teams will do away with that problem. Hi, I'm back. My name is Gert Christandl. I'm an educator and learning technologist at the Greenwich Business School in London, UK. I share tips, how-tos and tutorials that will hopefully help you in your face-to-face and online teaching. If you want to stay in the loop, then hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you are not missing out on new content that I publish here on my channel. Cheers! Microsoft Teams has fairly recently rolled out this new feature called Co-Organizer feature that will really take a lot of pain away in setting up meetings centrally for you and your teaching team, and allowing individual members of your teaching team to run the team sessions that you or somebody else has set up for them as if they were organizers themselves. Let's have a quick look at what these things are. They can access and change meeting options, which is great because it gives them way more control over their individual sessions, even if they have not set them up themselves. They can bypass the lobby, so they don't have to wait for the organizer to let them in. You can still set that other participants, attendees, or students, for instance, they have to wait in the lobby, so they can't start the meeting before you do. But the co-organizer can just go in and start the meeting themselves. When they're inside, they can admit people from the lobby. They can also lock the meeting. They can present content themselves. They can also change other participants' role. So for example, they can make a student presenter if a student was to present something using Microsoft Teams in a face-to-face session or in an online session. And they can also end the meeting for all. Everybody that is in the meeting will automatically be signed out. And of course, and that's one of the most important features that the Co-Organizer feature enables, is that they're able to manage breakout rooms themselves. Fantastic, that takes a lot of work off you. However, a few things a organizer, the original organizer who set up the meeting, retains, namely that only they can view and download attendance reports. It's quite useful actually, if you think about it, because then these attendance reports and the records, they are being held centrally. A meeting recording is typically stored in the organizer's space that might be allocated. This could be OneDrive, this could be Microsoft Stream, depending on what your institution has decided where these recordings go. But it's only where the organizer has access to. For instance, if you run a webinar, you are creating meeting invitations, so those co-organizers cannot edit. Organizers still retain that. They cannot remove or change the meeting organizer's role. Let's have a look how you actually set it up. And you'll find it's actually very simple to do. I'm here now in my Microsoft Teams calendar and I want to set up a meeting. It's an individual meeting. As you know, I double click on the calendar and then I call this test meeting. Now it's a very important step here to later give another individual of your team the role of a co-organizer. You need to have them invited initially. That's important. So you cannot make somebody a co-organizer that is not an attendee, a required attendee of the meeting. So I've now added two of my highly esteemed colleagues, Emma O'Connor and Aaron Tan, to this meeting. You can give, of course, as you know, this meeting way more information. Could be an in-class teaching session, could be an online teaching session, could be blended. Regardless of that, we send this. So now the meeting has been sent. You need to do that because otherwise you will not get the meeting options button. Double click on the meeting, it opens, and then here, right here on the top, you see the meeting options. So now I'm here in my meeting options and there is the co-organizer feature right there. Open the drop-down list that I have Emma and Aaron in there that I can select as co-organizers. So you can not only just select one, I can select both. And however many you have, they can just go ahead and use all these nice features now, in spite of the fact that they are not the original organizers of the meeting. Save. Now I can go ahead, invite others to that meeting, But those two will now be co-organizers and can run that meeting, can run breakout rooms, and do all these nice things that I've shown you earlier. Now, what about if you set this up as a series of meetings? Just showing you that this was an individual meeting, but let's say you are planning the next 10 sessions for the entire term, and you want to make sure that in case somebody cannot teach the session, you want somebody to be able to take over and run the session on your behalf. So now we're back in the calendar. We're going to go ahead, double click here. I give this a title. In this case, I call it Test Meeting Series. I've added Emma and Aaron to it again. And now I need to go ahead and change the option Does Not Repeat to something else. So for example, I could say this is a weekly series. I'm going to start this series on the 26th of July. This repeats every week on the Tuesday, and I'm going to select an end date. Let's say this ends after a couple of iterations. So let's say this ends in mid-August. So I save this. I'm going to send this. Now I'm back in my calendar. You can see that my meeting series has indeed embedded. It indicates this is a part of a series, in this case the occurrence on the 26th of July. It says here, this is a meeting series. It has this little loop symbol there on the bottom right corner. And now you need to be careful. If you want to change the meeting options for the entire series, it is not enough to double click on it, because if you double click on it, all it does is opens that specific occurrence, and that's the little hint here. It says here, you're viewing an occurrence of a series. So from here, you can go ahead and click on View Series, and it takes you into the series options. Click on the meeting options. The meeting options open, and then just as before, you can go ahead, make our two participants here co-organizers, and now that's sorted for the entire series. Well, almost. You need to click Save first, and that's it. Simple, isn't it? Now over to you. Will you use that, as I think, very useful co-organizer feature in Microsoft Teams? Comment below and let me know. If you have any questions about anything that I've covered in this video, please do not hesitate to comment below as well. By the way, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you won't miss out on anything that I post on this channel in the future. Thank you for watching and have a lovely day.